Hey guys, good morning and welcome back to another episode of Earthen's Den. And my podcast schedule has been crazy. I don't know why the podcasts were coming out. I do actually know why, technically, because I scheduled them. But I thought I scheduled them a little bit further out, so you guys were getting some podcasts twice in a day, and I hope that was great. But I just want to get on here really quick because I want to talk to anybody who is starting something new or has started something new. And sometimes you have a hard time receiving the support. And I know that it sounds crazy, but this is a real thing, right? And so, first of all, I think that when you grow up and you don't really have a lot of support from family and friends, or you've had some series of experiences like myself with friends, and you dealt with a lot of betrayal, sometimes you can kind of be in a space where you're a little skeptical of everything and everyone, right? And even though that level of skepticism is respected, right? Like you want to be mindful of the people you have in your life, I think it's also very important to be mindful of who you're becoming with that, right? And so I just want to get on here today, and I really just want to let people know, surround yourself with people who support you, who love you, and who uplift you, right? And sometimes it's going to feel a little uncomfortable in the beginning because if you've experienced betrayals, you may be looking at them a little, questioning, like, what is this? But I'm going to encourage you guys to sit in meditation, go to therapy, journal, really let go of some of those negative feelings, and also be mindful of the people in your life. If you have something amazing going on, or if you have something positive going on in your life, and every time you tell it to someone or you bring it to someone, and they don't necessarily have anything positive to say for you, I think it's important to just kind of reassess that relationship and maybe say a prayer and question where does God want this person in your life, Family is definitely one of those things where you just can't shake them, you didn't choose them, so it is what it is. But we talked about chosen family, right? And I think at a certain age, everybody who listens to this pretty much as an adult, you got to get to a point in your life where you recognize that it's time for you to start doing things that are for you and are good for you, right? And I'm not saying that you can't be there for your family and love your family, but I think it's important to be real with yourself about what kind of relationship you have with your family. Unfortunately, a lot of us, generational curses, slavery, X, Y, and Z, we may not come from the most supportive families. We may not have the most supportive communities and things like that. And so you want to be mindful of that, but you also want to be mindful that you don't harden your heart for the people who actually do love and support you and want to help you with your mission and be in that space for you. I think that that's something that's amazing, right? And so for myself, because I am currently in the season where I am shaping up and shaping out, right? things are looking a little different. I just had to get on here and share that with someone because I think sometimes we feel like we are indebted to people, and sometimes we just are not around the right people, right? Sometimes we're just not around good company, and I think that right there is such a detriment to a vision, especially if it's a vision that God has given you, especially if you're doing this because it's real and because it's true and because it's out of the kindness of your heart. It's not one of those things to where you're just doing it just because, you're doing it because it's purposeful. So I think that that alone is something that's just very important. And, be around people who support you, be around people who uplift you, and make sure that you definitely shout out those people who do appreciate you, right? Like I made a post on Instagram today. I know it's not, to the extent of my real gratitude, but I really am thankful for anybody who supports me, because I think sometimes in spaces when you're starting something new, right, you don't really know if it's going to work or if people are enjoying it. And so the fact that people are definitely tuning into my podcast and you guys stream this podcast, that means a lot to me. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times I am in a space where I'm like, I don't really know if anybody's listening, or I don't really know if anybody, you know what I mean? And so I think with anything, you kind of want to be validated in your work, and you want to know that, it's doing something, right? And of course, yes, we get our validation from God, but I just wanted to get on here and say that because I think that it's important, and it really matters, and it means a lot. It really does. So surround yourself with people who support you. Don't make excuses. Get around people who support you. Get around people who uplift you and who encourage you, and who are just genuine. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes we can do things and we're not doing it because we want to do it. We're doing it because we feel like we have to, or we're doing it because we feel like we just feel like we got to do it, and honestly, that level right there, when you do things because you feel like you have to do it instead of doing it because you genuinely want to do it, it doesn't hold the same weight, right? And so sometimes we can be in spaces like that, and you want to just be mindful of those things. So Okay, that's all. I'm rambling at this point, but just make sure you surround yourself with people who uplift you and who encourage you. And if you don't have that, try to find your own family, right? Chosen family, start a community, start doing some things that you love, and maybe you'll meet people who also do those things. And here's another thing too, guys. I want to talk about this really briefly because I talked to you guys on Instagram and we talked about competition and being in the winner's circle, right? Being around people who are doing some positive things. I just want to let you know, if you're invited into those circles, understand that you are worthy of being there, right? Regardless of what you think you don't have, regardless of what you may feel about this person who may be doing this thing, or feel about these people who may be doing this thing. If you had an invitation, you were worthy enough to be there. And that's just period. So sometimes we got to be mindful that we're showing up, because at the end of the day, when we don't show up and we feel like we're not worthy or we scale back, we really discount ourselves, right? Because we don't get our blessings from that. So make sure you guys are showing up. If you are invited to a room, if people say, hey, come on, hang out with me, you deserve to be there. And that's just period. So don't ever cower down. Don't feel like you can't sit with winners. If you were called to be there, you are worthy to be there. You don't have to compete. There's no reason to be feeling insecure. Okay, if God ushered you in position, you're worthy of that, and you deserve to be there. So that's important. And lastly, I just want to end up with be yourself. You guys, be yourself. When you are authentic, you get everything that is for you. Okay, a lot of times we can be stressed and struggle and frustrated with a lot of different things in our lives. It's because it's not a reflection of you. How can God send you what's for you when you out here pretending to be somebody that you're not? How can you get what's for you when you out here posing as somebody that you're not? You're going to be attracting all kinds of things. God's going to be sending you all kinds, because you out here pretending to be something that you're not. So be your authentic self. Just be who you are, and what is for you is going to show up for you. And when I say what is for you, I mean like when you are real, like your intentions, you know who you are. Oh, yeah, it goes down. Like them blessings hit a little different. Ain't no confusion. Ain't no rah-rah. Ain't no all of that and that. Right? Hello. Goodbye, dysfunction 2022. Goodbye, dysfunction. Goodbye, confusion. Goodbye, distractions. Goodbye, counterfeits. Goodbye, all of that. We shutting it down. All right. So I hope everybody has an amazing day. And I hope that this podcast was insightful. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I don't say it enough. I really don't. But it really means a lot. You know, it was definitely trial and error of still learning, right? Season 1, there's still so much I want to do, but we're here now. And I just had to thank you guys because it means a lot. So I hope everybody has an amazing day. And thank you so much for streaming Earth and Den.